Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds and it's dark in my heart.
Well, hello YouTube. I'm Pastor Dexter Utley, pastor of Art of Living Community Church. Today we continue talking about the mind of Christ. We had it from actually three different perspectives. That of Reverend Derek Stevenson, that of Reverend Constance Willis, and then myself. Listen, check out this video. I promise you your life will not be the same. It's all about making a mind selection change. We have to exchange our mind, exchange our will for the mind that Christ has, for the will that God has. So, check it out. I hope that you'll enjoy it. Matter of fact, I know that you will. Until I see you next time, God bless you.
I'd rather hide who I really am behind the persona of who you think I should be. Oh, okay. Come on, Reverend Willis just told us. I'd rather hide who I really am behind the image of whomever you need me to be. So if you want to roll out, let's roll out. If you need somebody to fight with, you call me. I'll fight with you. I'm not that good, but I'll give it a shot. Because I'd rather be somewhere fighting with you than be alone by myself. It's like what Luther Vandross said. I understand, but I don't necessarily agree. He said, I'd rather be with you in a storm than have a good day at home by myself. I don't want to, and I understand the thought process. It's a beautiful ballad, but it speaks of an insecurity. I'd rather be somewhere with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I love Luther. I love Luther. I'm talking about you went too far. Talk about Luther. You don't went too far. Check a friend. Check a friend. But it speaks to and speaks of. Y'all funny. Check a friend. Tell you went too far. It speaks to or speaks of an insecurity. The insecurity that it speaks of is the same type of pressure that Paul is talking about in the book of Romans. It speaks to an insecurity that says, I have to be with somebody in my mind, because if I'm not with somebody, I'm all by myself. Oh, okay. It's why people believe that they have to stay in a relationship with somebody, because in their mind, to be single is to be alone. But to be single is not to be alone. To be alone is to be alone, and to be single is to be single. But people who says, I don't want or like to be alone, move from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, and here's the problem. They'll settle for an ungodly relationship for the sake of not being alone. They'll be with somebody who told them, you really don't need to be with me. A man would be with a woman whose ex-boyfriend says, no, she crazy. A woman would be with a man whose current boyfriend say, listen, she ain't no good for me, so surely she will not be in it. Okay. All right. Okay. But the thought process, the pressure of the thought of being under the load of having to be by myself, the pressure is that I'd rather be in something with somebody than to be by myself. So therefore, I'm always searching for somebody. Now, here's the problem. I have to be when I find them, whomever I sought for needs me to be. Okay. Because if I be me, I know I'm going to be by myself. Okay. So whomever I'm searching for, when I find them, I have to figure out in my mind, and this is more pressure, have to figure out in my mind who they need me to be. Okay. You smoke cigars, but they can't stand smoke. So the whole 9 hours that you around them, you thinking, I can't wait to get home so I can light me up a black and mild, because I've been needing one all day, but I couldn't smoke it because you don't like smoke. Instead of me being at home by myself smoking on a black and mild, I decided I don't want to be alone. I'd rather be with you, even though I can't be me. Is that a bad example? I can't be me around you. So I have to figure out in my mind who you need me to be, and then I have to rationalize whether or not I can be it. You want me to be strong for you, but I'm not even as strong for me. You want me to be there for you, I don't even show up for me at times. Oh my goodness. So now whenever I give you, it's a false sense of whatever you think you can going to get out of me. Okay. I give you a false sense of hope. You depend on me, and I don't show up, but I apologize. And I tell you, I won't do it next time. I promise I'll be there. I give you a false sense of humility. You think that I'm humble when I'm really arrogant. Everything that you expect out of me, I'm giving to you, but it's a false sense of it because it's not really who I am. I give you a false sense of love, but yet I do things to misplay or displace your trust in me. Okay. I tell you that I care about you. I tell you that I care about you, but I do things that are so selfish and that are so self-centered that it seems like I couldn't care about anybody at all but myself. Okay, all right. But I'm under the pressure because I'm having to be who you want me to be only because I don't want to be alone with me. Because if I'm alone with me, I don't know if I'll survive the meeting with myself. Sometimes my greatest tribulation is not when I have to deal with people or devils, but it's when I have to deal with myself. Sometimes my greatest enemy is not people or demons, but sometimes my greatest enemy is myself. My biggest handicap sometimes is myself. Sometimes I sabotage my own success. Sometimes I talk myself out of it. Sometimes I prevent myself from having it. Sometimes I speak against my own dreams. Sometimes I cancel out my own creativity and imagination. Sometimes it's not the people that's around me. Sometimes I shut myself off from them, and it's me that's holding me. It's me that's discouraging me. Sometimes it's not the things that I do, but it's just myself that disqualifies me. It's me. It's not. When I think about it, I talk myself out. Okay. He says that I want you to glory in tribulation, even in the tribulation that you face with yourself. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to change channel in your mind. And I want you to switch to a worship mode. To a mode that when you look at where you are, how you are, and what you are, that you declare with your mouth, God, you can still be glorified. All right. That you can still be glorified. Okay. It's what the sisters walked up to Jesus and said when he came to see about Lazarus. They said, if you hadn't been here, my brother would not have died. They say, but yet, God, even now, Jesus, he can still live. You can still be glorious. Even right now, something still can happen. Now look at verse 4. And perseverance, character. And character, hope. Now, why does character come before hope? Or why do we have to have perseverance, Crystal, before we can move to character? Because when God builds character in us, it is the process that does not feel like a godly process at all. Let me just help you. Integrity, one definition of integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. It's doing the right thing. When you have access to all the stationery at your job and you still don't steal it. When you leave their pens there, leave their paper there, their tab, that's integrity. That's integrity. Nobody's looking, and I can take it, and I've done it before. I can do it again. But integrity says, no, it's not yours. Leave it. You want it, buy it. Yeah. Okay. That's integrity. Character, on the other hand, is something that has to be built in us. But God cannot build character in us until we, number one, submit our mind. Okay. Number two, allow God to raise us up from who we think that we are, just as Reverend Willis suggests, into who he wants us to be. Now, I don't know if any of you, I love this, and I've made reference to it on several occasions, and I will continue. I don't know if any of you ever seen the movie The Matrix. Well, there's a little pill that this dude has to take. And he says, if you take this pill, you'll no longer be Mr. Anderson, and you'll begin to see the world as it really is. Okay? He said you're going to find out what's really at the end of the line. So he takes the pill. And when he takes the pill, anybody ever seen the movie? When he takes the pill, it seems as though something is taking over his body. He's being covered in a liquid solution, and then all of a sudden he looks like he's in a birthing chamber, in a birthing tube, and he looks around and he sees a whole bunch of other people that still sleep. He's awake, but everybody else is still asleep. And the next thing you know, he gets picked up out of that birthing chamber and he drops down into a pool of whatever it is and salutes nasty stuff. And the next thing you see him, he's on a table with a bunch of needles in his arms, and he opens up his eyes and he says, "My eyes hurt." And the guy says, "Yeah, that's because you never used them before." Now wait a minute. he has all of these seem like acupuncturic needles in him because his system is having to be rewired. But when he opens his eyes, he's saying, "It hurts." He says, "Because you never used it before." And what he was really saying was, "You've never seen the world like this before." Okay, but it was because you took the pill. See, without the pill, you believe that who you were was all you were. But with the pill, you find out that who you were wasn't even close to who you gonna be. Okay. Because the movie, the purpose of the movie was to help one man realize that you have ability, capabilities, and powers beyond what you really think. Okay, that was the point of the whole movie. That you have the ability to save people when you think that you're just mediocre. You have the ability to deliver people, to prevent something from taking over your life and the life of everybody else, but you think you're just ordinary people. That's what you think, but you're not. So he takes a pill, and the pill, it doesn't show him what he can do, but it shows him the world as it really is. And once he sees the world as it really is, then he begins to do, it begins to come automatically. They start shooting at him and he started dodging bullets. And when he realized, I'm dodging bullets, a bullet hit him. And it hit him right on the leg. And he fell down. And the question was, she asked, "Well, how did you do that?" He said, "Do what?" She said, "You move so fast. You move just like the enemy move. You move as quick as you dodge bullets just like they dodge bullets." He said, "I don't know how I did it." See, listen, there is a you that you don't even know. But you don't have to take a pill to get to know this you. It's a transition of your mind to get to know this you. You have abilities, okay? You have ability to glorify God even in the midst of tribulation. You have an ability to be under the load and under pressure and still give God glory with your life and with the fruit of your lips at the same time. It's because why? Because tribulation is going to work patience, and patience is going to work character, and character is going to work hope. God is trying to build something, or build the who. He's trying to build the you that he knows up. But the me that I know keeps fighting against the me that he's trying to build, because our minds are different. My mind says, "God, I'm not going over there and talk to them. That dude don't even like me. Why would I go over there and give him a word? There's too many other preachers sitting in this room. Give the word to somebody else, let somebody else give it to him." No, I'm not doing that. God, listen, my supervisors don't even like me.
Come on.
Why would I buy them lunch?
Come on.
I'm not doing that. See, my mind thinks that I need to do for you what you're willing to do for me. Because if you're not willing to do it for me, then forget you. I ain't mad at you, but just I'm not doing it. Okay. So, but that's how my mind functions. How my mind thinks. My mind thinks that you gotta like me in order for me to like you back, or I gotta like you. That's how my mind functions. My mind functions and says, "Okay, it's the 28th. This is due on the 30th. Or I gotta pay this by the 1st. I don't have but 3 days, and I ain't even close to having what I need to take care of." I'm a lot off. I'm a lot off. The mind of Christ says, don't do what you My mind says, but if I don't, how am I going to get it?
All right.
The mind of Christ says, anything that you lose, I can give back to you.
Yes, God. Yes.
My mind says, yeah, but you blessed me with it. Shouldn't I protect the blessing? That's what my mind says. You blessed me with this car. You blessed me with this house. But the mind of Christ, the mind of God says, I'm not coming back for a car. I'm not coming back for a house. I'm coming back for you. My mind says, I'm not going to get any rest until I can figure out how to keep what it is that I have. But the mind of Christ says, don't let trying to keep what you have, don't let it kill you. It's hard, don't hurt me, it's hard. Because my mind says, yeah, but I've worked hard for it. Okay, I worked hard, my blood, my sweat, and my tears is in it. But my other mind, or my godly mind, says, you know what? It's not even worth it. Because it's pulling me from praise, it's pulling me from worship, it's pulling me from prayer, it's pulling me from quiet time with God. But my mind says, yeah, but that's my child. And I know that I don't expect nobody else to love my child like you my child. This is my child. And they can tell me to just let them sit in jail all they want to, but I ain't doing it because that's my child. That's what my mind says. My mind says, I gave birth to this baby. And I'm not going to let the world or the devil or anybody else tell me what to do with this. But I don't care how bad they are. They still my baby. That's what my mind says. But the God mind says, really, you still think they're yours. They really mine. You're not even yours. You belong to me. Okay. But my mind says that this is my, okay, all right. This is my wife. This is my husband. And I got to do this and I have to do that. But my godly mind says, listen, you don't have dominion over nobody on earth. I never told you that, even from Genesis. You don't have dominion over anybody. Everybody belongs to me. But my mind tries to figure some things out, Greg. But my God mind says, I'm just going to lean out to my own understanding. And I'll always acknowledge him, and he'll direct my path. My mind keeps trying to figure out which way do I turn. But my godly mind understands that God said, I'll make a way where there is no way. I'll make a path right in the middle of a forest. I'll open up a city. I'll split a Red Sea so that you can walk through it on dry land if I have to. That's what my godly mind understands. But my rational mind, my mind, don't get it. So the me that God is trying to conform me into is constantly at war with who I believe that I am. It's why my soul has to be saved, because I keep fighting it. Okay, if I don't agree with the process of God, I'll fight against it. I'm not tripping. I know y'all don't do that, but I do. If I don't always agree with the process of God, I'll fight against it. I will fight against it. Because I don't agree. You're trying to turn me into something that, no. And you're trying to build some character in me when I think I'm straight. Or I don't like the process that you use, the means by which you use to build character in me. Why you gotta take it from me? Why do I have to lose? Why do I have to hurt? Why do I have to get whooped? Why do I have to be emotionally scarred in order for you to build something? Can't you just add stuff to me the way I am? Can you just talk to me a little bit and tell me, listen, man, you're going to have to chill out on all that old extra stuff. And just let me hear your voice and then let me chill. But sometimes you don't even speak. You just show and tell. Don't show me first. Tell me first. And hopefully if I listen, if you tell me, you won't have to show me nothing, dog. But sometimes God says, no. I know you. I know you. You think you slick, but I know you. I know your head hard. I know how long it took you to get into the church. And now that you're in the church, I know how long it's going. Okay. Just because you in here don't mean, okay. Just because you in, I'm glad you in here, but it don't mean that you getting everything straight. You through somebody, you still wouldn't listen. I tried to talk to you through a tragedy, you still wouldn't listen. I tried to talk to you through the death of somebody that was close to you, you still wouldn't listen. You still wouldn't come to me. Okay, fine. I'll show you better than I can tell you. Because when I get through putting these hands on you, when I get through putting this stuff on you, I promise you will never forget the day that you encountered me. So much so that Jacob named the place. When he wrestled with God, he named that place. He said, because man has wrestled with God and prevailed. got to put a name to this spot because I never forget it. And every time I cross back by here, I'm going to remember I wrestled with God and I prevailed. I came out wounded, but I prevailed. I walk with a limp now, but I prevailed. My name ain't the same. I'm not a deceiver no more. I'm not a liar anymore. I'm not a cheat anymore. I don't try to get over on people no more. Now I'm honest. I know that when you saw me, you didn't see me as honest, but now I'm okay. All right. Why? Because I remember the day that God had to change my name, but it didn't change my name without some pain. Let's give God a hand clap of praise.